So today I'm trying something new, which I've been semi kind of trying for the past couple of times I worked out now, and that's just stretching before I work out or do anything. But the only difference now is I'm specifically only going to do it for 10 minutes. And within those 10 minutes, I'm trying to see how much of an improvement I can actually make. Kind of like a semi-experimental video to go something like, well, if you stretch hard every single day for 10 minutes and you know exactly what you're doing, well, you'll be able to actually produce some form of a flexibility result or improvement over time. That's kind of like just a fun experiment to see if you're really wasting time while stretching. And if you really focus all your energy into stretching, then you will actually become flexible if you only spend about 10 minutes a day, every day doing it. Because at the end of the week, that becomes 70 minutes and an hour and 10 minutes a week of hard, deliberate practice. I can see how that could create some form of a result in that case. So I'm gonna start my climbing session with 10 minutes of just strict stretching. I also found it kind of funny how when people stretch, they always kind of need a yoga mat or something like that. I've been at this for 5 minutes and it feels like freaking forever. All right, that's 10 minutes of hard stretching, which was way harder than I thought, but let's go do the easy stuff now. Right now, the warm up is gonna be on a semi-new set, which I've done most of it already, except the super easy stuff. So it'll serve as a good warm up, and I do like climbing on easy climb, especially when you first start off. Just gets the body nice, warmed up, gets you ready. Also helps build a little bit of confidence, if I'm being honest. And now the question here is, does that intense 10 minutes of stretching I did actually make me feel better? I imagine it will, because it's not like I was super static throughout all of it. I was trying to move. Just to be safe, I'll take nothing like big old holes to make you feel confident and intentional. Halfway finish. Top. Even when it's at chest height, I still want to kind of find the lowest possible position. So regardless, I'll still use the ground. Here's a funny one I fell on the other day. This freaking blue one, my buddy was skipping holes, and then I skipped to the wrong hole to try to outdo him. So it's been like a forever time since I actually fell on such an easy climb, which is always nice and humbling, you know? I've always been a firm believer that the way you climb easy things is how you climb easy things. It's how you do climb hard things. Because technique trickles down, or in this case, trickles upwards. In terms of how loose I feel because of the stretching I did earlier, honestly, can't really tell a difference. Whew. Ah. Ooh. Wow, that felt super awkward. I do have one particular climb I want to try because I feel like I messed up the beta, made it way harder. So now it's time for a learning moment. It's this orange dynamic climb where I kind of made this part harder than it should have been. And now while I don't mind coordination style climbs, it's just not my favorite, but I do think it's good to have. Helps you move your body. I still feel like that's freaking hard, but apparently it's not. Okay, no, still feels hard. What the heck? All right, now I'm looking at this white, flying black tag. It's the hardest tag in the gym. And the first goal, I have no idea what I want to do, to be honest. It's here, Gaston, or... Okay, no, it's definitely left hand. Maybe left foot here, toe, shoulder, double pop. I'll be pretty happy if I could just get something to establish semi here. Let's try. Oh, that wasn't too bad, but I think I'm gonna need to match the pinch right there, like that, before I actually go out and make it solid. I think I gotta grab a little bit lower. Oh, that's good. It's time to just do some isolation work where I just try to get this part. The top doesn't look too bad, but I've said that like literally every time I climb up. I'm gonna start here, and I'm gonna try to get this little bit of a dynamic catch, swing through action. Now the only problem here is I literally lost all my chalk immediately. Early on in my session, I really don't mind these super sloping climbs because I still have skin, but I won't give these too much tries because eventually skin will become an issue. And I've climbed a little bit too long to realize what happens when I ignore that sign. Maybe I should have gone higher. Oh yeah, that's much better. I reckon it's Gaston, left hand, and then give up. Yeah, that looks about right. Or Gaston match. That's wicked. Does make sense. It is the hardest tag. I won't give this one too many more attempts. Again, skin, the chalk falling off. Time to try another slopey problem before I lose all my skin. And I do think this is good for me because when I was only messing with just straight up crimps, my ability to hold like slopers and bigger holds did decrease. Now this next slopey climb starts on good crimps, and then once you get to sloper, that's where the hard part is, which I should definitely brush because this makes such a big difference on slopers. So currently what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create this reach around effect so I can kind of compress like that. But that's just not working right now. So I reckon I'm gonna walk my left hand over here, but I tried that last session. It wasn't super great. It didn't reach around, get a little bit more distance. All right, I'm just gonna try the top, see if that's feasible, because I haven't tried that part yet. And I imagine I'm gonna grab it something like this, cut. Okay, easy enough. Don't know what that hole is there for. Isn't it upsetting when you can do every move except one? Okay, that's enough of that. I don't wanna lose all my freaking skin. Because today is a very special day. I finally get to try my Kilter V11 project again because my skin has healed up, specifically this ring finger. And that just allows me to do the important moves, which is like all the moves. But like with all good warm-ups, before I actually start climbing on my project, I actually gotta do a couple like 7s or maybe 1 or 2 8s to get my fingers acclimated to the board itself. Oh my God, I do not feel good today. Oh, I could get that, I just missed. There we go. That was hard. And now that we got about 2 V7s, although that one was hard, but I also feel rather not great today. We're gonna hop on the project. So basically the whole project comes down to one move, which is the first one. You start down here, which isn't bad, but it's also pretty horrendous. And then you gotta do this big move to this good crimp. And the hard part is just keeping your foot on the whole time. After that, it's like a V8 towards the top. But this first move, I haven't hit it a single time yet. And wow, the amount of times I spent trying to hit this move is unbelievable. And I specifically need to have this part of my skin good for this problem, because all the holes I'm going to are juggy, and I basically hit everything in a drag for my left hand. And you can't freaking do that when you have like a blistered off patch of skin, which is what I had. That was kind of good. Anyways, I kind of hope you're ready to watch me do that a few times from a bunch of different angles. It feels closer than it has in previous attempts. You know, I don't feel that good today, which is always a good thing. Lets me know I'm a little bit better, but today's just, I'm not him. But the holds, look, the holds are all freaking big, right? Huge. And then this is the underclane you're going off of, which looks pretty big, but it feels like dog water when you're actually in the position. All right, and then you go to this monstrous crimp right here. I mean, you ask me, the key here is to not get demoralized, because I've been trying this for months. That oh, ah. I don't know if you could tell, but that was a good fall. Oh, that was so good. If I could just keep my right foot on, and then I'll be in this position. Then I could go into that catch, which I should catch every time. That's so freaking close. There's a pretty interesting thing about trying something over and over again and failing, where you kind of like unconsciously or subconsciously like tell yourself, oh, I can't do it. But then, so the nearer time you do it, you start to try less and less, because you just have a, statistically speaking, every time you tried it, you messed up. So you kind of know what to expect. That's not what I'm doing right now, by the way. I'm trying to hit it every time. It's just one of those things that's kind of makes projecting a little bit tedious. I also got to manage my skin, because these holes are super juggy, and they'll start to split my skin if I'm not careful. And yeah, I don't freaking want that. Okay, a couple more tries. All right, that's enough of that. It's not as if I'm giving up on it. I'm definitely not. I'm coming right back eventually. It's just I made a tiny bit of progress on it, and that tiny bit of progress is everything. The movement itself feels a tiny bit better compared to last time I tried it. So now it does kind of just feel like almost a pure strength type of ordeal. Well, because I micro beta the shit out that start move like 100 different ways. Which does bring us to our TB2 projects, which are honestly a little bit more fun. And because I am flipping from more of a juggier style to not super juggy style, I will go ahead and warm up on like a V7, try to make it a little bit crimpy. One of the worst things about like just projecting is that, especially if it's just one move, then your body starts to get cold because you're resting like 4 or 5 minutes, trying one move once, and then you're repeating that the whole time, and you're like, okay, well, I'm done like no climbing. I just done a lot of falling. This climb is called Felicitas 2. Intriguing. I'll go ahead and do one more just to really get used to the board. And I'm still kind of cold, honestly, from not climbing too much when I was projecting on the Kilter. Almost freaking fell. Very, very, very cool climb. I've tried that one like a long time ago, but I messed up the beta. But now I'm ready to start trying the 10s, Funnily enough, last time I did this, I forgot about one of my other projects I wanted to do, so I'm gonna start off with that one this time. It is called Simplified. For you guys that don't know what it's all about, it's a very simple boulder. You start on this shark tooth jug, which is a little bit awkward for two hands. You go to that crimper right there, and then you go to this really flat crimp here, and you just finish off on the ball jug. So all it really is the crux move to the first crimp, which is at least a 7 by itself, a reach through move, which is really hard, and then a pop out move, which is also really hard. So far I've gotten one move, and that's the reach through move. I've touched the top part a couple of times, but I haven't managed to hold the swing. So the goal today will be I want to be able to do the last move. I'll try the first move a couple times, but not so hopeful about that one. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I can hit it actually. That kind of felt good, like my fingers actually were slotted in and I had a second, but. I'm gonna go ahead and try the top move. And funny enough, this is one of those moves where I can't get into the top position without doing the first move, which is, it's all right, you know, good practice. I just got to warm up, refamiliarize my body with that move because I've only done it like 4 times, really. I rested like 4 minutes just to do that. Well, I'm sure everybody has days like this where finger strength wise, my hands, they feel pretty good. Body feels a little bit heavy. Although I am pretty happy that I was able to just pull off that move at least once. I didn't get to touch the last hole, but that's all right. Which does kind of make me a little bit curious as to how horse's break is gonna feel. I doubt I could do what I did last time, starting from the start and getting to my stuck point. So obviously I'm just gonna try from the point where I'm stuck at and see if I'm able to launch out the crux move and make it feel better. Because my hands, they feel pretty strong today. They feel pretty good. Body a little bit heavy. It honestly wasn't too bad. Although part of me thinks I could do it a little bit better if I just, what's that word called? Get a little bit more filthy with it. Oh my God, that was my best attempt ever in the history of ever. This is like one of those fun things about climbing. I'm sure it happens with other fields too. Like even though you might be really not at your peak in one aspect of your climbing, another part of it might actually be higher, even though you feel a little bit worse. Like for today, that specific move, I feel like I'm doing it better and it feels a little bit easier compared to last time I was doing it. But I feel like total, I don't feel great at all today. Which means I'm gonna try it some more. Come on. Okay, so normally when I fall off a move, right, it's always not, oh, I just feel whatever. It's always, well, why did I fall and what can I do to get better? In this case, I reckon currently right now, and the only way for this actually to work, the analysis part, is that you have to go into it with an idea of what you want to actually do, therefore you could break it down. Currently what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pull myself into the wall as I go towards it, which typically speaking, not a bad idea. However, the problem with this one is the hove shape is at an angle. So me pulling into the wall, I'm not getting the greatest amount of register possible. Therefore, the new conclusion is, instead of pulling straight on like that, what I'm actually gonna do is, I'm gonna try to arc my body like that, just toss my torso to the side and loop it that way. Therefore, as I loop it that way, my right hand actually catches the edge of the hold, and hopefully that helps me maintain my height or my current level of reach a lot better, and when I hit it, I'll actually be in the right position. All this is theoretical until I actually freaking do it, of course. But it's better to go in with a plan of attack than to just go in with no plan of attack. And of course, effort is always number one. But all the effort in the world means nothing if you're stupid, honestly. Come on. Oh my God, that's it. Yeah, that is so it. Oh my, yes, that was the best one. Funnily enough, I've actually never done a classic V9 on the tension board too, even though I've done the 110. They say deep fog is super soft for 9, so gotta start somewhere. I remember trying this problem once. I did think it was kind of soft for 9, as a guy who didn't get it, so who knows. But to be fair, board time grading wise, it's just so much more physical compared to outdoors. Oh my God. Oh. There's no freaking beta videos for this climb, so I'm unsure if I want to do what I just did where I try to bump it out and then come in, bump up, or just there, back flag, rip the right hand over. I think I'm gonna go for the bump out method, yeah. Let's see what the comments say. Someone used to bump beta, Jackson Balglino, but he sent it at 20 degrees. I feel as if I'm doing this wrong, because all this, everyone keeps telling me it's soft. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and try the top moves. I've concluded it is not soft. Yeah, feels about right. Now I only have one question left about it, and that's whether the dynamic jump beta for the top is better, or the one where I try to static it with my right foot over there. Okay, that feels easier. Cool. And now that just leaves one move I haven't done, and I don't know if I want to do it with a drop knee or open hips yet. It's kind of hard to work it because you're on like the worst hold on the problem, which is this crimp right here. Ah, that was with open hips. Now I wonder if I could just isolate back flag big and then go right hand cross. Or maybe I could spread my legs from here, kind of hook it on top of that. And then just, I'm gonna try that. I'm flexible. Okay, not that flexible though. Oh, fatigued. To be honest, there's one method I haven't tried yet, which would be the obvious isolate, back flag, and then just go. So I'm gonna try that. Maybe they tended the obvious way is the obviously easier way. Could be. That was freaking not it. I know what I'm not doing. So typically, the way I climb is a very straight arm style. And what that does, it kind of almost kind of like a blind spot to sometimes where the easier beta might just be to crank. And so I'm gonna get left foot up. I'm gonna try to crank. And maybe I could just almost kind of isolate it. Well, I wasn't able to isolate, but I did learn something. Cranking actually made it a lot easier to perform the drop knee. So I reckon that's exactly what I do. Everything pieced together, I'll just crank into the drop knee, which is a little bit counterintuitive, and then bump it up. And as long as I maintain the left foot, I should be golden. Okay, perfect. If I could just do that from the start, then that would be my first freaking classic 9 on this board. I had energy. My problem was I got a little bit too tight towards the top part. So instead of staying lower, extended, allowing myself to have a nice long line of momentum, I kind of crushed it by elevating myself a little bit higher than usual and trying to re-grip just one too many times. totally my fault. But the first part, smooth and buttery. Got my foot over. I could have did the bump out a little bit faster. It'll go. It'll go. Oh, wow, okay. Fuck. Oh, that was so good. I actually relaxed when I got up to that last move. I had a quick premonition of myself making the same mistake as I did the first time I got up there. And then I was just like, hey, I remember this feeling where I kind of rushed it. So let's not do that again, all right? And so I just lowered myself even lower. And then when I went up, before I even caught the hold, I was like, there's like a 90% chance I'm gonna catch this hold well, just because of the line of force. I really kind of like that aspect of climbing. It's when you're able to do it, but you're stupid, then you can't. So it's always a little bit funny that way. Not to say other physical activities don't have the same mentality or way of thinking, but like quick decision making while you're being stressed, very important skill to have. Oh, hey, that's my first V9 Classic. That's dope. This next climb looks like just all crimps, which I'm totally down with. It's called Rational Gaze. It's another 9, and I know at some point in time I definitely tried it at least once. Although I don't know if I have the physical prowess right now to give it a good go. But we gonna try. Wow, that's fucked. Not to say I can't do it eventually, or even on just a better day, but considering my fingers are a little bit tired. Oh, you know what? I'll try Doom User. It's just all slopers and weird. Okay, I know I tried this once and I completely fumbled right here, but I reckon right hand, right foot, right hand again, left hand, right hand, left, right. So it's a sideways compression. Let's give this our best shot. I went into that with way too much confidence, oh God. Okay, new tactic, I'm gonna try to go cross or match, something of that nature. Okay, new tactic. I'm gonna match, undercling, and then bump up like that. Therefore, I have a clean sweep out to there. Oh my God, I can't believe that worked. Okay, that worked. Holy shit, that's cool. Super cool. I think I need to heel hook this so that I can release left hand into under. Oh no, yeah, no, I could just toe down on that and then drag myself there. This this isn't one of those problems that I'm going to be able to do in a session, or not even 2 or 3, but it's just good to figure out all the individual moves, because at the end of the day, a spray wall is just a collection of individual moves. And if you could do all the individual moves, theoretically speaking, you could do every single boulder on the board. Obviously, there's an infinite amount of moves. So if I could just unlock these moves, it will help me with like other problems that have the same move styles. And that right there is what I'm trying to do right now. Because that's the first time I undercleaned that big pinch into the sloper, so that's cool. So right now I'm working with the low beta, but there might be a chance that it might be easier to just go straight up to the sloper. I'll do something there and then come down. I'm gonna try that. That's a bit of a tight heel. Oh my God, yes. That worked. I just had to freaking bump up left hand, get space for heel, go there. Once I'm actually up there, I have to relax a little bit more to drop feet to pinks. Dope. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, wow, it's freaking hard to reach. Now I reckon I'll go left foot, right foot toe, bike it, use the toe to push left foot down. Okay, that worked out even better than I imagined. Just left foot here was enough to bring right foot down. But then now I'm slightly, I don't think I'm supposed to reach down again. It feels like I'm supposed to just mash that. And then maybe go down and then out. After doing a couple, well, after trying to do a couple nines, projecting it, I'm a little bit worn down, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do, well, mess around with some 8s. This one has a scary finish, and it's called Problem of 1, Case of 1. I think the first time I did this move, I actually put my left foot up here. So I'm gonna try that next. Nope, nope, that's freaking way too high. That right there is perfectly fine. There, drop, hit. And then the problem with this one is the finish, which as you're doing this drive-by with the right hand all the way up there, a little scary. Let me just climb up and figure that part out. Of course, that's only if I could hit the, I'm tired, I'm gonna train. I normally never do this, but I went to V7s and I clicked on the newest. So these only literally have 1 ascent. So I'm gonna try a bunch of these, try to get as pumped out as I can to the point where V7s feel impossible. Only because you can skip it. It doesn't feel that hard. Okay, I'm gonna make some micro adjustments. For one, left hand's gonna be more towards the right because right side's a little bit higher. Instead of holding it dead on here, I'm gonna hold it more as a side pole. And instead of my direction being directly into the wall, I'm gonna almost arc it a little bit so I have a little bit more time on the feet. Okay, only one of those adjustments kind of help, and that's the closer hand, but then kind of feels like it's almost too close at that point. So currently I'm basically holding it almost flat, but for this next go, I'm gonna cam my fingers into this sharp little corner right here. And hopefully that feels, or that catches a lot better when I start going upwards like that, instead of like that. Okay, the camming action works tremendously well. Now I'm slightly curious as to whether I want to keep my feet straight the whole time or almost kind of drop knee it. Instinctually, I kind of want to drop knee. I also kind of wish this hold didn't exist and it was just two hands start here. I feel like my momentum would be better. But this kind of separates my power a little bit, not to say it's the worst thing in the world. Okay, that goes. I'm actually gonna call it quits on that one because I don't want my skin to get completely ruined. You know, I'll actually give it just one more try. Oh, another try. Oh man, freak. Give me a second. When I was trying to get my foot here, I accidentally placed it on this hold for a second. And now the question becomes, well, do I think I could have done it regardless of that little mishap? The answer, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could have. Like if that was just a piece of wall and I just missed it, then I could have swung it back and then placed it proper. Oh my God. If it's like a much harder climb, I would consider not logging it in, but for like the easier climbs, I'd be like, yeah, I could have done it. That was just a slight mishap. You know, maybe I'll do it again. And I'll do it exceptionally clean, because that was a pretty big dab. Oh, wow, completely ran out of chalk, just slipped. All right, that's enough of that. I know where this road leads. It leads to having no skin and then me complaining about it every day for a week. You can never tell where the hard part is, because I thought that problem was easy up to the last bit of it, where it became super cramped. I respect that. Wow, it was like, went from like V3 to V6 real quick. This one's called Get Angry. I agree with it. It's something I often tell other climbers to do when they're not having the best day. You could get into the mindset of, oh, fuck it. Makes it a little bit easier to try hard. Huh. I reckon they want me to do some form of a jump. Total miss. However, slightly too difficult for me. I'm just gonna type in the word crimp and then work on my crimps, because that is exactly the type of climbing I want to do. This is a perfect crimp problem. And I am tired. Okay, perfect. We are now going down to V5s. This honestly looks like a really cool V5 crimp problem. Though my only problem is, I don't think it's actually V5. That's probably why I think it looks cool. Maybe it's just a poppity scoppity. Oh, wow. That's basically what a session is, really. It's about a lot of, oh, I think I can. Oh, I feel like they misgraded it. Oh, no, never mind. Let's try a different one. Again, because right now, not in the mode for projecting. I just want to do a bunch of crimp climbs. Wow, this looks like a horrible climb, but it's literally everything I kind of want it to be. Oh, apparently I can't even do that. Holy buckets, I'm swiped. We thought we were doing V5s. Turns out we're actually doing V4s. Finally, I get one. I remember last session I had a good session. Well, on my good session day, this was the climb that I finished off on. It's like full crimp training number 4, something of that nature. Wow, could not do a single move. But this time, I really didn't use that much power. So I feel like I should have a fair shot. Like I said, I feel like I should have a shot. I don't think that's a 4. It's probably like a 5. Next one. This is probably one of my more favorite parts of my climbing session, where I just try to burn myself out as much as possible. Because now it's just all about effort. Just constantly pushing for effort until you literally just can't go no more than saying, I could probably go a little bit longer. Same shit. I don't know how the hell someone thought this was V4, but whatever. Maybe I gotta start doing threes instead. We are gonna give that one 3 stars and a nice solid V5. Very nice. I enjoyed it. We're basically all out of crimp climbs, which sucks. You know, this is definitely one of the hard things about climbing when you don't want to repeat climbs, which I currently do not want to do, but you want to climb a specific style at a certain level, and there's just not enough of that style of climb. Okay, let me go. Oh, let's go to V3s. Let's see if there's any crimp climbs at V3s. Oh, this is perfect. The only problem with like the easier crimp climbs is there's just way too many freaking holds. Okay, I'm sick of this. I'm making my own climbs, and I shall try my best to make it around V3 to V4, though I sometimes fail. Oh, wow, that's amazing. I shall call that one Crimp Walker 19, I believe. That's around hard V3. Terrific climb. Yeah, if you never try making your own problems to fix your own weakness, oh, you should definitely try it. So good. Like, even though these problems right now that I'm making aren't creative in any way or form, it's just really good for me to train my full crimp prowess with moves that are close, semi a little bit far, and it's still pretty fun. I think that's more like a 5, to be honest. The only problem now is that because I'm now spending time setting my own routes, I get a little bit too much rest time in between each of my climbs. So I always kind of feel pretty good. And I'm trying to burn out right now, which is difficult to do when you rest like 4 or 5 minutes between each climb. That was like a goddamn 6. I'm heading the wrong direction, to be honest. So because I keep recovering a little bit too fast, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a bunch of my old climbs. Starting off with V6, going down the line till I get to my V3s, and I have like 7 of those. So I'm just gonna try to hit it back to back. Starting off with Crimp Walker 9. What an awesome climb set by me. Just spending time holding a particular type of hold will make you so much more accustomed to doing it. And that's exactly what I'm doing when I'm doing these crimp climbs. I'm just working on my full crimp prowess. There we go. That's what I need. And then you run into the opposite problem of you're climbing a little bit too fast. Can never have things just spot on. How long have I feel like I've been climbing for a minute now? Like time-wise, body feels completely fine. Fingers a little bit tweaky. I mean, not tweaky, but a little bit. I feel it in my joints right now. Body, like biceps, back. It feels like I haven't done a goddamn thing at all. Okay, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. I did quite a few climbs, got my first 9 on the TV2, made progress on my projects, very happy with that. I tested out the theory of stretching hard for 10 minutes before I started actual goddamn climbing. Do I feel good about today's session? Yeah, pretty good. I made progress all around, can't really complain. Made progress on the Kilter problem too, even though I didn't actually freaking do it. Anyways, now you know.